Kablam! Yes, we're back. Another week means another weekly review of a Doctor Who episode, and I'm literally filming this just as we finished watching. So, do you want to tell by my face how I feel about this episode? Oh my lord, I can't stress enough how much this series has surprised me and made me happy. What? This kind of episode looked like a typical run-of-the-mill Doctor Who episode with a slightly creepy, like, faced thing. Thinking back to like the Beast Below, or the God Complex, the kind of like images that were released prior to those episodes coming out were of like the puppets in the God Complex and the weird figurine people in the Beast Below. But yes, again, we've been surprised and in such a good way. This episode was completely different to how I thought it would be. And again, I think this is down to guest writers being prominent. Like, no offense to Chibnall, I did enjoy the first like 5 episodes of the series, but it's nice to have a bit of diversity, and it just seems that this writer immediately gets what Doctor Who is, and in such a good way. And it was beautiful. The way that the twist was so late in the episode. You had such a massive period of mystery that you really get invested in the story, and it's not like the Saranga conundrum where you find out what the threat is like quite early on, and then kind of 2/3 of the way through you find out like what's going to happen essentially to stop it. But in this case, it was only right at the end that you discover the real stuff that's going on, and I cannot like fault that writing. It was so good, and unfortunately, I'm sure that there must be people who didn't like the episode, but this was such a quintessentially Doctor Who episode, but different to anyone we've seen before. It was fantastic. Alright, so I'm going to go through the things that I like. So that was like my massive immediate opinion. Second thing, character-wise, for the first time this series, maybe bar the first episode, we've had an episode where all 3 of the companions are used really, really well. And it was really good. You see Ryan dealing with his, you see Ryan giving his stories of past work in retail and sports direct and stuff, and you get him overcoming his, trying to get to grips with his disability, which is fantastic. Graham, as always, just having a laugh, really being this really trustworthy character to get under people and get them to tell him what's going on. He's a very clever character. I mean, when we find out he's going to be a janitor in the episode, that's brilliant. Really, really funny. Yaz, again, like, she wasn't used as much as I'd have liked, but you see her using her police skills at the end. You see her having an emotional attachment to some part of the story, and whilst you don't see it right at the end of the episode, you do see that she makes a big statement out of what she wants to go on and do next, like immediately after they've gone back to the TARDIS, and that was fantastic. And the Doctor, as always, had a great episode. She wasn't like always the forefront of the conversation. You spent quite a bit of time outside of her with Graham or with Yaz and Ryan, so that was really good. In terms of the guest stars, so when this episode was teased in the beginning of like the series, like in the first episode's credits, they made a big deal out of the 2 actors who were going to be like guest starring in this episode, and like I said, they made a relatively big deal about it, but in my opinion, I think it was the lesser known actors that had a fantastic job job. They did a fantastic job. What am I fucking saying? In portraying their characters. So the person who played, I can't remember the names of the characters. Can you? Is it Jamie? It was Jamie and the young woman, whatever. Oh, her name was Kira. They were brilliant, and in my opinion, they were better than the big stars. I mean, Lee Mack was barely in the episode, but he was Lee Mack, and it was really good fun. I can't remember the woman's name who played the head of people. The head of organics, if you like, but she was actually really good, and I was really glad to see that she was actually a morally sound character. The same with the other manager person. I was wondering whether he would be like a problem character, but whilst he wasn't used very much, he was actually quite morally good, and that's strange for a Doctor episode that pretty much everyone seems to be this great character, and that means you empathize with everyone, and that means the twist at the end is such a big one that you really get shocked by it. And I was really upset by the twist at the end. and the big bold step that the episode took in delivering that twist was amazing. I exclaimed out loud when we kind of discovered the whole plan with the bubble wrap and stuff. It was so good, and that's such an inventive idea. I loved it so much. Really, really good idea for like a finale. Brilliant. Okay, another thing I liked was the music. I said last episode, especially how I loved what Segun Akinola has done with the music of the series, even though I haven't noticed it that much. But I think after the last episode, I've noticed it even more. He's come up with an entirely new score for this episode. It felt a lot more like action movie-y, like a lot of like beats and just growing slowly. Really, really good, and everything suited the mood well. It sounded a lot more. It felt a lot more heisty. Like this kind of music would definitely fit in with I can't remember the name of the episode. The Time Heist, I think it was called, with Peter Capaldi and Jenna Coleman. Time Heist, yeah. It would fit in with that kind of episode, and it fit in with this one really well because it was such an industrial episode. Speaking along the lines of that, sets were brilliant. Especially the office of the female boss lady. I can't remember her name. Like, this is the problem with doing these reviews straight after. I don't actually know the names of the characters, and I'm recording on a phone. I don't have any notes to read off of. But like her office looked great. All the surroundings look brilliant, and it's such a large scale set. It's often with Doctor Who you can tell when sites have been reused, but the sheer massiveness of it all that they've been using this series meant that everything looks unique, and even at the end when it probably like essentially got a multi-story car park and emptied it looks brilliant, and the way they've lit it so it's pulsing and stuff it just looks brilliant, and visually this series has been amazing. Another thing that I really, really liked, whilst it was quite silly in the episode, the kind of action set piece of Ryan, Yaz and Charlie riding on the conveyors. I thought that I was laughing. It was really, really surprisingly funny. Music suited that scene really well. CGI for the most part was quite nice because they tried not to fit it show all of the background with the characters as well. So it was either one or the other. It meant that you didn't see many flaws in the CGI, in the animation, and in the green screen effects. It worked really well, and I love that scene. I don't think many people will. I reckon that'll be a scene that divides opinion because it was quite silly, but that makes it Doctor Who. But also, I guess people can pick holes in how it looks a little bit. But I think it was really good. So that's my opinion. What else did I like? The Fez came back. I'd already seen this on Children in Need, so that wasn't a surprise. But it was quite nice that they used the literal opening scene from the episode in Children in Need. Meant that there were no extra spoilers being given away. But the Fez came back, and that was just a lovely little bit of fan service. Another bit of fan service, they mentioned the giant wasp and Agatha Christie, the unicorn and the wasp. That episode was cool. That was a brilliant little nod. I love it's so subtle because it's such a different series, but they keep mentioning all these little things of past stuff so a fan can go, yeah. But half the time in Doctor Who, they make these little nods, at the beginning of episodes when they talk about things they've done off camera, some of the things that they've experienced, the army of turtles or whatever it was. I think it was last episode, and you don't see those, but some of the little nods are brilliant, and to a non-fan, they'd just be words in the background, but they're funny words in the background, and it makes you think, oh, that'd be a cool adventure to look at. And then on some occasions, you actually have something you can go and watch from it, and it's a good little thing to do to keep bringing back little Easter eggs, nods towards past series, because that's gonna bring new fans to the show. And especially with this series, you've had more this has been the biggest series since the revival, I'm pretty sure, overall, which is amazing. And so I'm hoping that this will bring interest back to the show. They've got so many new viewers, I'm guessing, for this series, because of the whole format change and the actor change and basically the entire premise change. So I'm hoping that people go back and watch the other, at least New Who, let alone any classic Who. I mean, I still haven't watched much classic Who. I want to go back to do that. But it's just all these little nods, and the whole aspect of this series of Doctor Who being this fresh start has been brilliant, and the stories have been able to keep quiet and just have little nods to mid-series, like the stuff with Ryan's dyspraxia and Graham's occasional thoughts towards his wife. They're just brilliant, and they work so well. And I don't know, I've talked for way too long about this kind of non-opinion, if you like, but yeah, really good. And next episode, we're going to be going back to England, which is quite nice, and it's another historical episode. So, as you might be able to tell, Ellie is very, very happy about that. Yeah, she looks like a slug right now, a very stripy little slug. But I'm really excited for that one too. Looks really good. We've got King James and the witches, and I think the episode's called The Witch Hunters, which is like just brilliant. So that hopefully that'll be a really good way of portraying that period of time and the real, very real stuff that happened. So I guess if you're looking at Rosa and Demons of the Punjab for like this real event and a really good portrayal of it, I'm hoping it will follow along the same lines. So I'm really looking forward to that one. In additional news about Doctor Who, they announced that it's not going to be a Christmas special this year. It's going to be a New Year's special, and so I'm looking forward to that. A nice little change in how they're running things. I'm hoping it will be a good episode. I guess the thing with Christmas episodes, they always got a bit samey towards the end, where the message is always something to do with Christmas, I guess. So maybe doing it as a New Year's episode, it doesn't have to have anything to do with the time of year it's being it's like based around. So that's quite nice. I'm looking forward to something like that. But anyway, yeah. If you've enjoyed these opinions, make sure you leave a like on the video. What are your opinions on the episode? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you want to see more videos like this, I do a review every single Sunday after the episode. Subscribe, and I'll see you guys next week for The Witch Hunters, whatever it's called. Until then, stay safe.